Hi. Hello again. Welcome back to my channel. This is Jessie Reacts, and I'm back again with another video, another reaction video on Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 32. Well, a lot happened in 32, and I'm a little bit excited about some change of events, and I'm also not quite impressed by some things. But first of all, shall we talk about Ciera and her message after her departure from the villa? So, according to what people are saying, are alleging, I heard that initially when she was told to leave the villa, she didn't want to go. She kept apologizing, begging that she wanted to stay and finish the show, but she was told that nope, you can't finish the show. You have to go. She said she didn't know that the word was a racial slur, but somebody sent her an email to let her know the implications of what she said. And she said she deleted the post, but some people dug it up for wherever it was and then revealed it to the public. So I think it's rather sad that it was something she was ignorant about, but it was still used against her. But it's a learning lesson for everyone. Like she said, ignorance is not an excuse.
Was in the villa, there were some posts that resurfaced from my past where I was very naively using an incredibly offensive and derogatory term. And before I get into the details, I want to first start by addressing not just anyone that I have hurt or deeply offended, but most importantly, the entire Asian community. I am deeply, truly, honestly so sorry.
Personally, like I said in my last video, I've never heard of the word before. I didn't even know it existed, but now I know. So we all learn every day. And she's gradually getting her followers back. But I wonder what she thinks about Nick and Alandria's connection right now. I bet she's gonna be telling herself, okay, they have a thing going on before. I'm not surprised. Or could she still be hoping that when Nick comes up, Nick is gonna come, looking for her? Is she still hoping for a relationship with Nick? I guess we'll find out with time. Another thing happened in the villa. Clarke and Taylor left the house. It's bittersweet because Clarke and Taylor have been doing really well in the house. I think I have some kind of mixed feeling concerning their scenes in episode 32. Before I get to them departing and my reaction to that, let me first talk about the opening scene where we had Clarke and Taylor talking, and he talked about them getting married. She about thought about her wedding. He's planning that the guests will all have like cowboy hats with their initials written on it. I think that's cute. I think that's a nice idea. And then he asked her, "Do you want a court wedding or an extravagant wedding?" And she's like, "Of course I want an extravagant wedding." So I'm like, okay. They're talking about marriage. It means, they're taking this seriously. I mean, I hope they're taking this seriously. I have my doubts about Clarke, even though I know that Clarke is likes him, she's interested in him, but I just have a very strange feeling that by the time she gets into the real world and then she sees the reason why people don't really like Taylor much, I think maybe she would have a rethink about the whole situation because Taylor really rubbed the public the wrong way, the way he treated Olandria. He was leading her on. He couldn't really tell her, okay, I don't want to pursue things with you anymore. He kept telling her that I want to see what happens, still exploring my options and things like that. I'm still open when he was almost practically closed off as soon as he met Clarke. So, I mean, they could work out in the real world, but it depends on what her intentions were before she came into the show, But for a guy that has like 3 or 4 horses, obviously his family is wealthy. So I don't think she would dump him easily if she's looking at maybe the wealth. But when he asked her, "Are you ready for the hard milk life?" she said she wasn't ready. So I really doubt that she would want to stick with him for a long time. I really doubt it. But if he was a very popular guy on the show and people really love him on the outside, that would have been a very easier case to decide and say, okay, she's gonna stick with him for a while. But well, I don't know. But I love their chemistry in the house. And then when the guys left to play basketball, did you see the part where she had on her white swimsuit and then she had a white cowboy hat with her? She had Tina's cowboy hat with that to match with her swimsuit. That was very sweet too. That was very nice. And now let's talk about Huda and Chris. They were having a conversation and then I don't know what they were talking about. And then Chris said Huda she could throw up in his mouth. And then she was like, ew, don't ever say that. And then Chris tells her, don't ever tell me what to say or what not to say. And then she's like, well, I just did. I just told you not to say that. And then he's like, no, you can't tell me what to say or what not to say. And then she said, but I just did. So he got upset about that. I think that the reason why he got angry about that, because I just feel that was just petty. That sort of situation, you shouldn't have said, don't tell me what to say or what not to say. Well, you said she should throw up in your mouth. She said, don't say that because obviously it's disgusting. But it's more heavier than that. I believe he got upset because of what happened the previous day when Huda told him not to ever tell her to shut up. So I think he got mad. He still didn't tell Huda that. That made him mad. And Huda, in her own world, thinks that, oh, everything with them is beautiful. She was even bragging to the ladies that, oh, I think it was during her interview. She said, oh, I really like my relationship with Chris. He makes everything easy. He makes me a calm person. Anytime I'm upset about anything, I just let him know, and then um, I don't have to worry about it. He just wants to make me happy. So after the basketball game, when the guys were talking, Chris mentioned that he wants to stop being an avoidant, that he's gonna talk to her, and then he's gonna make sure that he expresses himself, and the other guys agreed, which was good for him, for him to express himself so that Huda knows where things stand. So then he goes to have a conversation with Huda. He's telling her, why can't you kiss me in public? Because we do more in bed. They have sex in bed. I'm in the bedroom. What's the difference? If you do that and we can't even kiss, it's giving hookah vibes. Because if you're just having sex with someone and you can't even kiss the person, it really doesn't make sense to me as well. I don't think that makes sense. It's either Huda doesn't really like him, or she senses that Chris doesn't really like her and they're just both using each other. That's how I see it. Because there's nothing wrong with kissing Chris. She gave the excuse that the reason why she can't kiss Chris in public is because of what happened with Jeremiah. Everybody saw them being lovey-dovey. So everyone saw that and then it backfired on her. So now she wants to do things differently. But her way of doing things differently is really upsetting because if you really like a guy, like you claim that you like him, your hands is going to be all over him all the time. You would want to kiss him all the time. But now you're looking around, making sure, nobody's watching while you're kissing him. Like, no, it really doesn't make sense. So I just feel like Huda is just using Chris and Chris is just using Huda. They're just using each other to get to the end. This relationship, no matter what they do, I don't believe it's going to work in the outside world or in the real world, period. That's my thought. That's what I think. I don't know. It's not a fact. Now, moving on to Brian and Amaya. Brian surprised me in episode 32. I'm not gonna lie. And the power of the Gucci is amazing. This is a guy that was looking so depressed in episode 31. He looked like the world was coming to an end. My guy was miserable. Each time Amaya comes around and is talking to him and just giving all those her random talk, Brian looks really tired, out of his mind. But, however, they went to the hideaway. Now, in the hideaway, Amaya showed him some skills that I feel like this guy has never experienced before. Okay? So he was so impressed and his entire vibe changed. It's like, when they say you change somebody's life and flip it over overnight, that's exactly what happened. Okay? Because if Amaya was the one going crazy over him, now he's the one going crazy over her. I didn't know that could happen with just within one night experience. That is just so crazy. So the next day, now during the night, they were doing whatever. She even said, bite me. Uh, and then the next day, they were talking about their favorite moment. She said her favorite time was when they were in the pool. I wonder what they did in the pool that made it so special. And then he was like, well, I don't have to say my own favorite moment. And then when he got to the guys, he said he felt like he got this virgin again. It's just crazy. But, I'm happy for him. He looked really happy. He told the men he really had fun. And Amaya told the ladies that she went on a journey. She said her journey was majestic. And then when Olandria asked her, she said she went on 2 journeys. They went on 2 journeys. The journey was majestic, but the way she was talking, it seems like the journey wasn't just majestic. That journey must have been heavenly. You know what I mean? And then they eat the kitty, 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 kitty. I don't know what they're eating. It's just crazy. Well, all those parts are just fun. They're fun. So I bet she must have seen some really colorful and bright stars during her majestic moments with Brian. So it seems that their relationship got more solid through the hideaway. So that's nice to know. We have a strong relationship, another strong relationship in the villa. Then the men went for their basketball game. And then that basketball game, I really don't know why they added that. Probably they just wanted them to get some energy out of their system, I guess, or because Chris is a basketballer. Oh, because Pepe too is an athlete. I don't know. Maybe that's why they decided to do that. But it was funny when they picked up Ace, just throwing the ball in the basket. I think that part was really funny. So they were divided into 2 groups. Ace, Pepper, and Brian were in a team, while Chris, Nick, and Taylor were in another team. Chris, Nick, and Taylor's team won the game. So after their game, the guys, they all sat together to have a chat. And Pepe was talking about Iris, like he's surprised that he could connect with her the way he did and everything. And I think Iris and Pepe the night before, I think they did it. I think they did it because the positioning in bed was very different. And then by the time they got back from the basketball game, and they were all sitting down with their girls, with their partners. The way Iris sat on Pippa's leg and the way he held onto her, and then she was rubbing his arm off, something like that. It felt really intimate. It felt like, yeah, these guys have really gone deeper in their relationship. So it seems Iris and Pepe must have really liked each other before this happened. So it's nice that Pepe could open up his heart for someone else besides Hannah. Well, Hannah happens to be Iris's friend. So it seems even in the real world, Hannah and Charlie might be getting together because I saw a couple of videos of them together. Then we also have Nick and Olandria. In the beginning at night, they were going to bed. And Alandria was touching Nick. And then Nick said, oh, her hands and her feet were cold. Then she tells him, well, you're a nurse. Why don't you diagnose me? And then he said, you have some cool ass hands, which is really funny. But because that means they were touching each other. That's just what it means, right? She was touching him under the blankets. And then he said her hands were cold. You know what I mean? So I believe that Nick and Alandria are connecting more and more and more. Emotionally, like you said to the men when they were talking, emotionally and physically. I think this is the best attempt by Olandria to connect with someone physically since she's entered into that house. I don't even think she did this with Taylor. I don't think she went this far with Taylor the way she's going with Nick. Honestly, I expected to see more from the couples in this episode, but we didn't really get to see much. All we saw was basketball game, which I felt was like a waste of space. But now that I think about it, I think it's because of the discussion the men had after their basketball game. Nick was talking about how much he wants to make Olandria happy, how much he cares about her. Then right away, Taylor cuts in and he's like, yeah, all those little things that you do for her is what she appreciates the most. And I'm thinking, okay, why did Taylor have to say that? I think it's just his way of saying, okay, I support you, Nick. I support you, my man. I support you with my ex. I support you with my ex, Alandria. Whatever you guys decide to do, I'm good. I'm good with my Clarke, and I hope you guys work out. I think that's just his way of showing his support. It looks very awkward though. It felt very awkward and uncomfortable when I saw that part, but yeah. So Nick was like, "Oh no, don't worry about it. I got this. I got this. Cause yeah, I know how to take care of my woman. I know how to make those pancakes. It's extra crispy. Honestly, I really hope that Nick will do something really cute and romantic for Alandria before the show ends. Something to make Alandria want to, want him more. Because while Nick was with Ciera, I don't think he made any big moves with Ciera because Ciera was just easy. Like she just liked him. So he didn't have to do much for her. But with Alandria, I expect him to do something special, like go the extra mile for her. So I really hope Nick steps it up. Nick, please be romantic towards Alandria, okay? Please. However, I know that he really likes Alandria because besides him saying it, you can see him showing it as well with his body language, with his eyes, with the way he smiles at her. You can really tell that Nick is very happy with Olandria. He's not trying too hard to be physical. He's not trying too hard to make some big or massive gestures. You could tell that he really respects her, the way he holds her, the way he touches her. And then when they got back from the game, everybody held on to their man. And I noticed that Nick and Olandria, so they held on to each other for a little bit. And then Nick asked her, did you miss me? And then she was like, yes. Of course I missed you. I really believe that these guys have a spark. I hope that the next episode is gonna give us more on Nick and Olandria. The messiest part of this episode was how Taylor asked for when he wanted to ask her to get exclusive with him. That part was so messy. I don't know how else he could have executed that, but without being in front of Alandria. But I think he's been doing a lot of things in Olandria's face, which is really upsetting. I understand that Olandria was not affected by it. She wasn't upset by it, but there's no way as a girl you won't feel some type of way still and be like, oh, so he knew how to do all these cool things, but he didn't do it with me. So I think by now, Olandria is realizing how much this guy didn't really like her. At this point, she knows that, oh, I was really wasting my time with this man because he prepared breakfast and had what's his name, Ace to be his chef at some points. He knows how to do all these little cool things for Clarke that he didn't really do for Alandria. It makes me really sad in my heart that so this guy knew all along how to do all these nice and lovely things, and then he couldn't even come up with just a simple, nice gesture while he was with Olandria. It's very upsetting, honestly. He told the guys to do like a cheerleading kind of thing to spell Clarke's name. That was really funny, but it's nice. It's cute. And right there, he asked her, be my girlfriend. I'm just kidding. He didn't say be my girlfriend, but right there, he asked her, would you want to be exclusive with me? And then she said yes. And then they hugged, the happy family. And then the camera zoomed into Olandria's reaction. My girl was just happy and smiling and happy for both of them because I would be happy too because it's more or less like I missed the bullet on that one because why would he be so nice and cute with someone when he wasn't that way with me. So I would know that, yeah, this man was already for me. And I'm glad Olandria understood that. So that ends that chapter. Then it was time for them to sit by the fire pits and find out who is going to go home. That, they find out that a couple has to go home. One thing that really stood out to me was Nick's face. Nick's eyes were red. I think Nick believed he and Olandria were the ones going home that night. I believe that Nick felt that his connection with Olandria might seem the weakest to the public. Keep in mind that right now, he doesn't know if the public likes him being with Olandria, and he's not even sure if the public was expecting him to have left with Ciera when Ciera left. So left to him, he's not sure if he's doing the right thing or not. And I think even in Olandria's mind, she's also trying to be careful because she doesn't know the public's perception of what her relationship with Nick would evolve into. But at this point, I just hope that they stop thinking about what is happening on the outside and just focus on what is happening on the inside between both of them. I really hope that we can get to see more of them evolving emotionally and physically, connecting with each other more, because they really have a potential. I'm really rooting for them to do well. And then Ace and Charlie, oh gosh, those guys, they're very good. I'm just so happy for them. I'm so impressed with their relationship. I think both of them are made for each other. They are a match made from heaven for each other. If there's any relationship in this season that isn't going to work, theirs is the one that is going to work, that I really have faith and I really believe in that is going to work. I think Case is putting all his gut into this relationship, and I think Shelly's doing the same. You know how cute it is that when they go into bed, he's always kissing her belly. He kisses her belly and he tells her that, they're having a baby, and she said, no, there's no baby in this belly. That is so funny and cute. And then Chris is really not happy with Huda because by the time they sat back down, Chris's face was like, I don't want to talk to this girl. However, I believe that they're going to work it out in bed. The kind of sex you have after a fight is usually the juiciest and the sweetest. Buddha just needs to be more receptive when other people are also expressing their feelings towards her. Just like she expects others to accept her feelings, she should also be willing and open-minded enough to accept other people's feelings as well. So if you watched up to this part, I just want to say thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And let me know your thoughts in the comments as well.